Wake up, lady. And where's my coffee?
So what's the go? Does Ronnie normally take this long? Like, what's the procedure here?
Yeah, no, it usually takes this long. He hasn't had his coffee yet.
Oh, rightio. Well, hopefully we start soon. It's going to be bloody dark soon, so.
About bloody time. What the hell's this? I asked for a long macchiato with almond milk topped up. Oh. Hey, Ronnie Dale, Four Wheeling Australia. Welcome to another episode of Modified. We got Keelan. How you going,
Ronnie?
Mate? Yeah,
nice
good,
to meet
mate.
you, mate.
Tell us what you set up for, mate.
Pretty much a bit of touring. I've got the Caravan on the back, but before we had that, we were just running the RV3 tent. We've bought the Prado virtually stock. It had a roof rack as well as a lift, and we've added all the modifications to that to suit our specific needs. It's sort of set up, purpose-built for us. It's probably not for everyone, but it is set up for us. So,
Okay, when you say us?
myself and my partner, we're actually heading around Australia in a few weeks' time, so which is pretty exciting. So we're just pretty much doing shakedowns here and there, trying to get ready for that, and then adding any extra modifications to it to suit that purpose of going around Australia. So
Nice. So you're going around Australia. How long are you planning?
at this stage, it's, yeah, the sky's the limit. Could be around for 2 years, so.
I think we need to decipher the whole vehicle
Yep.
and see how you've balanced it, because you're very much thinking about and worried about your GVM,
Yeah,
and you're within. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of people would like to see what you've done to keep within GVM, because not many people do that.
no, and it is easy to get to your GVM with these vehicles. We've only got a 3-tonne GVM capacity, just under. So guys, we got a bit sidetracked there. Forgot to tell you what the car is. It's a 2011 150 series Prado with an automatic 5-speed gearbox, and it's got the 1KD engine inside it. This episode of Modified is sponsored by the Terrain Tamer e-store, the leaders in four-wheel drive replacement parts. So if you're building a four-wheel drive right now, I reckon that'd be worth checking out, because they've probably got what you need. Let's get back to the episode right now. Righto folks, we're now going to talk about all the exterior mods. We're going to include the bar, the lack of bars around the side because of GVM stuff, we'll get to that, and also everything that's on the bull bar. So let's get into it. Take it away, mate. So we're just running the commercial Ironman Deluxe bar, and I've actually powder coated that the same colour as the car, and I've tried to match it the best I can. Running the 9-inch Diamax spotties, which are the exact same as your Nava and your TJM spotties. They're just a different brand. Also got the 6.6 dBi GME antenna, and I've coupled that with a TX 3300 in the cab.
Has that got the controls on the handset?
Yeah, it's all local on the handset, all your volume and your channels, so yeah.
No winch, is there plans?
Yes, there is a plan for a winch, and I've purposely left a little bit of space in my GVM budget for that, a winch, because I think it's pretty crucial when you're doing a remote lap around Australia.
So you left 50 kilos then?
Yeah.
Because that's
Oh
what
no,
I
I'm going to kick Sarah out and then throw the winch in, so.
Should we leave that bit in or what? Relying on factory bash plates.
Yep.
Now going around the side, I noticed there's no side steps and there's no rear bar. Run us through that.
Don't get me wrong, I would love to throw a set of scrub bars to rock sliders and a rear bar, but I don't really need the side steps and scrubs because the Prado does have a lot of clearance, and the rear bar is unnecessary for me because one, the factory rim and tyre fits on the back door, and also I don't need to carry any water because obviously we've got the Caravan and we've got over 200 litres on there, so
Yeah.
yeah, so it's really no use.
Always think about your mods before you do them, because you can end up really heavy before you know it. I'm surprised someone your age is actually thinking so much about it.
Yeah.
That's good. To cap off the rest of the exterior of the vehicle, let's look at your mirrors and your snorkel.
So I'm just running the Ocam, I think it's Ocam Clearview-ish mirrors. I just got them off eBay. They're about 1/8 of the price of Clearviews, but they are pretty much the same build quality, so I've just opted to go there.
Did you feel you needed them with the trailer?
Yeah, I did definitely. I was running the factory ones when we drove the trailer back from Adelaide, and I could not see road trains behind me at all. Like I was literally having to do like a little turn, so just so I can see past the trailer to see if there's a road train, but keeping in my lane.
Okay.
And I was also relying on the two-way and them saying, oh, I need to get around you, whatever, and I back it off for them and stuff. So definitely needed the mirrors. They were
a must. So just running the safari snorkel, that's just your standard sort of size snorkel, all watertight and stuff, so which is good.
At what point did you decide to put a snorkel on it?
So the snorkel's predominantly for cold air into the air intake. Because I am stressing out the engine and I need cold air and less dust in the air intake, so that's why I have opted for the snorkel, not so much water crossings. But I will be doing water crossings, don't get me wrong, but it's predominantly for cold air.
I'm Sarah, Keelan's better half, and since this episode was filmed, we've done about 6 months of travelling. So today we're going to go through all of the extra modifications we've done since we've been living in the Prado on the road.
Since leaving home on our trip, I have added some side steps and scrub bars to the Prado, and the snorkel is now predominantly used for river crossings, not so much cold air. I know it does bring cold air into the engine, but we have been going through a fair few river crossings, some even being over the bonnet, so the snorkel is really paying dividends for that. I'm running a full cage aluminium tracklander rack. Super handy because you can throw stuff up there and firewood, etc. Doesn't have an off-road rating. After watching your video, I did do a bit of research on ratings and weights and stuff, and I've found that the tracklanders are pretty good. They don't have that silly difference between what you can do on-road to off-road. So I've left all the stuff up there. I was thinking that I was overweight, but I'm way under, so.
Do you know your roof rating on the Prado?
150, and then you take away the rack weight, obviously, and then you can put the rest of the weight in the roof rack itself.
What's the rack roughly?
36.
36, okay. You still got heaps of...
Yeah.
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 Not that you want that much up there anyway.
Nah, where if I had the off-road rating, I'd be close, you know, so
Yeah.
it is good.
Let's not go there. We got camp lights mounted to both sides and the back.
No, just this side and the back, and I do have some high-powered LEDs, battery plug-in lights like Makita, so I generally use that if we're camping at night with the awning setup. But with the Caravan, I don't need any extra lights. It's got lights everywhere around it, so.
2 max tracks, we've got a solar panel here. How many watts and what does that go into? Your back battery, front battery, where's your battery?
The battery's in the front, it's an 80 watt panel, and that's solely to run the Engel in the back on the top of the drawers.
Light bar in front.
Yeah, let's not go there, Ronnie.
What's that?
Um,
one of those, is it?
Yeah, it's one of those ones. Everything I've done on the car hasn't been cheap, and that's the only thing that I've really done cheaply.
Okay.
So yeah, and I also had only a little bit of space, and that fit the right specification, so I saved my coin and I went that way. Went to the dark side, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's keep moving. We're talking tyres and lift. First of all, what everyone wants to know. What tyres and lift fits the Prado?
33s from stock.
You have to trim the front though? You have to trim
Yeah, so the inside of the guard, you just have to knock out the inside edge. So when the wheel is turning, it sort of doesn't hit. If you just take that little edge off, it's fine. That's the only thing you have to do, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
What rubber we got?
Running the BFG's KM3s in the 285 7017s.
They look very new.
They are from 25,000 Ks ago.
Oh.
So I've done a few Ks in them.
Yeah.
Try to keep my pressures right, and they are due for a rotate, so that's also important. I haven't done that yet. I need to do that.
What's your pressure on the highway?
40.
What's your pressure on the beach?
When I'm just unloaded without the van, 18.
With the van?
Haven't taken the van on the beach yet, so
Okay.
but I imagine I'll be dropping them to like 12, I reckon, because
Yeah.
it's quite a heavy van. On the Gibb River Road, we've been running 20 PSI in all our tyres, and that seemed to be a really magic number for us. And also we've been doing a bit of beach towing, so on the van we run 20 PSI, in the back of the Prado we run 20 PSI, and then in the front of the Prado we're running 15 PSI. And that seems to be a really good number for us as well. The rims I'm running are imitation beadlock, King D locker, 17 by 9 inch, 0 offset rims, and they're 0 offset, so the rubber doesn't touch the upper control arm.
Tell us about your lift.
We're running a 2-inch Bilstein's lift. I did have 150 kilo constant loads, but when I put the bull bar on, I upgraded that to 300s, and in the back I'm running 400 kilo constant loads with a 2-inch shock, so Bilstein's.
And you find that is a good setup for the rear with the trailer?
Yeah, with the trailer it pretty much sits dead flat, which is really good, and it rides a lot comfier with the trailer on. I feel like I've gone the right constant loads to suit the trailer. So
when you unhook, you feel a little bit stiff in the back?
yeah, a little bit, but with the drawers and the fridge and stuff, if I load that up, it does make it a bit better. It's not too out of control, so.
Under the bonnet, nothing really special's going on, keeping it pretty stock. It's just the 1KD engine. It's done 220,000 Ks. So the secondary fuel filter, I've got a second battery here, which is a 96 amp hour lead acid battery, and that is running through my intervolt DC to DC charger, which is also hooked up to the solar on the roof. I've recently had the intake manifold cleaned out because these cars have EGR. They do tend to sort of clog up with soot and blow by, so I've cleaned that all out, and also got the snorkel.
We've also added a 3-inch turbo-backed Manta exhaust, and we have noticed slight power improvements with this.
It's a bit tight here, so I'm going to let Keelan go ahead, and I'm going to sit here on the caravan, just have a look. Go for it, mate.
Not a lot's going on back here. We just got the ARB drawers, just keep all my recovery gear, compressor, flexible solar panel in this one. And then in the other one, I keep tools, spare parts, filters, all that sort of stuff, keep it in there. It's pretty messy at the moment, actually.
So is this how you normally would have it when you're towing a caravan?
That's it. That's how it is. Like, obviously, got weights and stuff, but also don't like a lot of clutter in the car. I'm not OCD, but a clean, nice, open space in the car is better than, you know, stuff everywhere flying around, and obviously no cargo cage or anything, so if you do brake hard, you don't want something flying through the cab at you, so
Fair
normally
enough.
stays pretty empty, which is how I like it.
Got a nice selection of hats there.
Yeah, well, the missus needs at least 2, so, and I just stick with the 1, so hence the hat rack, but that was her idea, the old Oki straps on the grab rails, so
Yeah, that's cool.
just a 32 litre angle. It's not the newest model, but it's, I think, the second newest model. When we're on the road, we just use this as the freezer, and then we've got a separate 60 litre fridge in the caravan. Surfboards are there, normally carry a fair few more than this, especially when we're going around Australia, because you need different surfboards for different ways, horses for courses, so that normally stacks the back up a little bit.
I see you got a table here.
Yeah, so this is just a home jobby. I have made this myself. Just got a bit of metal aluminium bent up with a few little lips on it, and then powder coated it texture black.
I haven't noticed a compressor yet.
Compressor is in here.
We also went and mounted the ARB air compressor to the back of the drawers. We've put it in the middle of the car so that it's easily accessible to all the car wheels as well as the caravan wheels.
You pulled your seats out.
Yep. That's another weight saving little tip I've done. Just to keep GVM down. They're good 50 kilos in them.
You got an outboard in here.
Yeah, I've got a little electric motor. Having the caravan, obviously it's a bit of a compromise with space, and obviously can't be pulling a tinny or a jet ski around, so the next best thing is a little inflatable tender with a electric outboard on the back, just to get us out to them surf spots that are like a K offshore, and also do a bit of fishing and stuff.
Inflatable mattress.
Yep, this is for the RV3, so when we're not towing the caravan, RV3 goes on the roof, and then we use this as obviously sleep on.
Interior of the vehicle, take it away, mate.
Just in the cab here, I've got my isolation lights for my spotties and the lights around the roof rack perimeter. I've also got my Red Arc Tow Pro Elite 3 in here, so I can adjust that while I'm on the road. I've also got my EVC throttle controller there. I'm running the Scan Gauge 2 up the front, so I can monitor like transmission temps, torque converter temps, boost, all that sort of good stuff. So I've also got the intervolt display here, which tells me how much solar I'm getting and how much current's going out of my battery. I've also got my handheld GME UHF here with all the buttons on it, which is super handy as well. When you're towing, it's handy to have all your data readouts right in front of your face, so you're not distracted. It's right there. We've also added this Safety Dave tyre pressure monitor kit. We found that this is really handy when we're on the give and we couldn't see the caravan tyres because of the bull dust. You don't know if you're running on the rim, if your tyres are hard or what the go is, so this is really good. It tells you all the temperatures and your tyre pressure all from the one screen. You don't have to touch anything and it's right at your face, so you can see it and you don't get distracted, so it's been really handy for us.
Keelan's just setting up his home away from home, or in fact, you're home for the next year
Yeah, that's correct, mate.
because you're setting off soon. It's a bit tight in there, so Keelan will take us through his home away from home.
And the front. Ronnie's handed over the reins to me because it's such a little space. It's hard to get, you know, 3 blokes and a cameraman and a camera in there at one time. So I'm going to walk you through what's in here. It's an 11-foot van. It's good for me and the missus. We put a lot of consideration into the van because number one, we're going to be living in it for over a year and we want to be comfortable. And two, it's also got to get us around the country and all the little remote places we want to get to. So there's a king size bed there. We've got an aircon unit. It's got shower ensuite with a toilet inside it. Full hot water. It's got 200 amp hours of AGM battery at the moment. We're looking to convert that to lithium. One of our favourite mods that we've done to the setup so far is putting in 2 iTech World 120X lithium batteries into the van. It's really allowed us to stay off-grid longer, beach camping, remote camping, everything we love doing. So that's probably been one of our favourite mods that we've done so far, is going to lithium. It's also got 170 litres worth of water, fresh water, a 50 litre grey tank. We're running 300 watts of solar on the roof, which I can also plug the solar blanket in to get it to 460. And then I can also plug the solar panel in that's on the car roof to get a total of 500 watts of solar. It's also got a TV. And yeah, it's quite a little space, but it's perfect for us. So this is the ensuite. It's pretty handy, little modern features in it. Just looks like you want it home. That's good for Sarah at that height because she's a short ass, and then I can always put it up there, have a shower and stuff. You can moderate how much water is actually coming out of the tap, which is super handy, so you don't chew through your water. Also got the Threadford toilet with a cassette underneath it. I'll demonstrate that real quick. Reversible fan up here, so it blows and sucks. That doesn't sound the best either, does it? This is the control panel. So first of all, we got the tank levels up here. So that's your freshwater tank, grey water tank, which is just plumbed into the shower. Also got a percentage gauge for your batteries, how much current is going out, your battery voltage. It also comes with a radio with speakers throughout, so if you want to have a bush doof.
Sweet.
They weren't kidding, eh? This beer's pretty bloody strong, Ronnie.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
Interesting on the palate.
Yeah, I can only give you one, mate, otherwise you can't drive home.
Yep, that's fair.
All right, let's get started. Did you choose the Prado knowing you were going to tow a caravan?
No, so I've always liked Prados and I had one before that one. And I originally wanted to do the lap around Australia with a rooftop tent. I was otherwise, I wouldn't say, well, with the missus, she said, why don't we be comfortable? And I said, you know what, that's actually a pretty bloody good idea. And so we went out and bought a caravan that's capable of going anywhere the Prado goes. But no, it wasn't, you know, an intention to tow with that car, so.
You say you bring your RV3 along as well. Are you guys planning to park up the caravan at some places and then head out for a couple of days at a time with the tent and sort of explore?
For sure, like we haven't done a lot of caravanning before, and when I say caravanning, I mean like towing it off-road and stuff. So we're still pushing the boundaries in that regard. So if I feel like maybe the caravan's not going to get there, I'll do a recce, and if it can't get there, I'll just leave the caravan somewhere. For instance, like Steep Point and, you know, Dirk Hartog Island and all that, them sort of places. You don't see a lot of caravans over there, so we'll definitely try to push the boundaries. But anywhere I think that maybe we're going to get stuck, I'll definitely be leaving that there and taking the RV3.
Sure. I understand you're going to be documenting your travels the whole way for that entire year.
Yep.
Where can people find that?
If they just search on YouTube or Instagram, Sarah Keelan Travels. We've got an account on YouTube and Instagram, and we're looking at posting a weekly video, and we have been for the last certain period of time. So yeah, if you want to go watch our stuff, just type in Sarah Keelan Travels.
Why do you like Prados so much? Because you've had a 120, as you mentioned earlier in the shoot, now you're going 150.
Prado itself is sort of capable of going off-road and sort of holding its own on some of the tougher tracks. I know it is IFS front, but it does hold its own with its ESP and stuff. So I guess it's quite capable, as well as keeping the comforts when you are driving on road, which, you know, a lot of people say they drive off-road a lot, but really they're still on road 80% of the time. So I wanted to be comfortable on the road as well as off-road. So still got all your gadgets and your creature comforts. How's that Kmart chair treating you, Ronnie?
Mate, it's a bloody good Kmart chair, I've got to say.
eh?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad for my back. I feel like you've skipped 20 years of your life here. You're going straight to a caravan.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me I'm the youngest grey nomad they've ever met, but I beg to differ. I mean, you can spin it however you want, but there's definitely a natural progression where people go from swag, rooftop tent, camper van or camper trailer, then to a caravan. They don't just go straight, you know, A to Z. So I guess you could say that, but it's just, why not, you know what I mean?
Is your next build a Winnebago?
Potentially with a 6-inch lift and yeah, LS through it, yeah, maybe.
Oh my God, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
A very serious question now.
Yep.
So you're a surfer.
Yep.
What do you think of bodyboarders?
Dick draggers. Well, earlier you told me you were a bodyboarder, so I don't think the best of them. Nah, they're good. They're good guys. Can't rat at them too much, but definitely when they're taking all your waves, they're a bit annoying. But you know that very rarely happens. So
That's what we do.
if you're out in the surf though, Ronnie, I'll definitely be taking your wave, mate.
So I'll end up with 3 fins across my back again.
Yeah, definitely.
What is the worst part about owning a caravan for you?
At the moment, it's where to park it because we live in a little unit, and yeah, it's pretty hard to park, and it pisses the neighbours off. And we park it on the lawn, and you can't park things on the lawn. But probably parking at the moment. It's not a big van, so it's not that hard to park, but it's definitely an extra vehicle to have. Probably another thing that's a bit annoying about it is off-roading. Like a lot of times I forget it's actually behind me. So I'm often just like thinking like, holy crap, I've got a caravan behind me. I haven't even slowed down for any of these whoops or ruddy sections or anything. And every time I look back, it's always there. So maybe one day I'll get caught out. I'm not too sure yet, but yeah.
Well, don't get a big head here, but I remember when we first pulled the caravan in, I think, what did I say to you again? I said, yeah, I asked how old you were, right?
Yeah, you said how old are you?
Yeah. And then I said, that's the best reversing I've seen for any 25-year-old.
Thanks, Ronnie. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. That's because you don't see too many 25-year-olds towing, maybe that's why.
Nah, when we were kids, Dad used to come firewood and out in the bush like this, and he'd be already cutting down a tree and park the car a few hundred metres away, and he'd say, I want the car here, so when I fall the tree there, I don't want to have to cut wood over. So we'd always practice reversing trailers in between tight trees, and I guess I credit that to him. So
that's a good skill to have anyway, especially when you're towing.
yeah, exactly. A lot of people don't know how to reverse trailers, and they pay extra for them caravan parks that you can pull through on. I think they're called pull through parks or something, where you pay extra to be able to drive all the way through, so you don't have to reverse. So
yeah,
it's good.
As Cowboy Tune will say, that's the 200 hubbies.
Yeah, that's it, eh?
Fuel economy. Without towing first.
Without towing. So I've got a little trip unit on my dash, which isn't 100% accurate. It's actually 1 litre less, and that says I'm getting 10.5, but when you go Bowser to Bowser and actually record it that way, I get 11.5, 11.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
For that age of vehicle as well. What about when you tow though?
When I tow, I found out the hard way. I was quite delusional on what I'd actually get before I got the caravan. I was thinking, yeah, maybe 13, 14s, like, nah, 17s. Maybe even pushing closer to 20s if there's any sort of wind to the side or the front, it pushes up to 19. I think the worst we've had is 20, and that was on the Nullarbor, pushing into a 30 knot oncoming wind. So we're almost going backwards at that stage, and road trains were going straight around us. So,
all right, Keelan, thanks for bringing
that. Mate.
Oh, nearly fell backwards.
How many of them had you have, mate?
Half a can, all right?
That's 2 standard drinks.
Yeah. Check out Keelan and Sarah's adventures around Australia. Travels around Australia. Now, this was filmed probably 2 months ago, 3 months ago by the time this is up. So that's why you've seen already some footage of you guys on your trip.
Yeah.
How's it been so far, the trip?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. I go back in time too, so yeah, no, it's been good so far, yeah.
A big thanks to the Terrain Tamer e-store for sponsoring the show, and of course my patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you guys on the next show of Modified.